You talked about this concept of antibiotic scarring in the book as well.
Yeah.
Is this what you're referring to with these multiple insults to the gut?
So there was a group in Washington that did a study that I find that really influenced me. And it was a study that they did looking at patients, healthy individuals, and they gave them a single dose of an antibiotic called Azithromycin, which is quite a strong antibiotic. And what they did was they then followed those patients over a period of about 2 years, looking at the impact on their microbiome. And then they compared those patients to some intensive care patients that have been really, really sick on massive doses of antibiotics. And what they found is that some of those patients given azithromycin were very, very susceptible to damage. And in proportion, their microbiomes never grew back. So they just one dose of antibiotic, that was it. Their microbiome was forever changed.
Wow.
And in fact, it was so badly damaged, it resembled the microbiome of a patient that had been in intensive care. And it wasn't just that the rainforest of microbes was burnt to the ground. It was that what grew back just didn't have the same function. So it wasn't producing all of those same molecules that you need to sustain your health. And they referred to it as microbiome scarring. And so that's where I think about it. I think, imagine like a rainforest just being torched. That's how I conceptualize it. And what we know is that when you do that to the developing gut, and we know this again from very good longitudinal studies done in Finland and done in Scandinavia, and we know this from really good, very large-scale epidemiological studies. When you give antibiotics to infants, you fundamentally change their risk of obesity. You fundamentally change their risk of diabetes. You change their risk of inflammatory bowel disease. You change the risk of bowel cancer. Right? You change the likelihood you're going to get polyps, which are precursor lesions in your bowel. And we also think it has a role in brain development, although that's a bit more controversial. And what we know is that the more antibiotics you have, and in the larger dose, the stronger that effect is. So if you've had antibiotics, as a child, your risk of getting irritable bowel syndrome is 3 times that of someone who hasn't.
Wow.
It doesn't mean that nutrition and diet is still not important.
Sure.
It is important, but I'm increasingly of the opinion that the destruction that we create on our internal ecology through the misuse of antibiotics might be more important.